friends, welcome back to the channel. It's Lori here. In today's video you're gonna get a little bit of some of the days here of homeschooling, and then at the end of the video I'm going to be going over my CC tutor board and overall how my CC tutoring is going so far, and some little tips of some of the review games and memory work that I do in case if any other CC moms out there need some encouragement or some ideas. As you just saw, school's going good. We're about, as I'm recording this video, we've completely done the first 3 weeks of schooling. We're heading into our 4th week, and this is my 4th week memory work for classical conversation. So if you're new to my story, I have all my other homeschool videos I will link up of me going over classical conversations and our thoughts on it so far. We did it first time last year, so we're entering into, as we're into it right now, is our 2nd year doing classical conversations. All right, so CC board, CC tutor time. I'll start off with how is being a tutor for CC. This is our 2nd year doing CC, and we are doing cycle 3, and I'm first time tutor, and it's been a lot, I must admit. It's very overwhelming for me, because I think more of it terms of, I don't know if it necessarily is in general. It's because it's not only just my 2nd year homeschooling, I think it's also more of my personality. I don't have a very bold, outgoing, extroverted type of personality. So I'm more introverted and quiet and very behind the scenes and like to keep things simple, but I also have the personality where I put so much pressure on myself to perform a certain way, for it to look a certain way, just to do stuff a certain way. So I know a lot of that overwhelming feeling that I'm feeling with the tutor is not CC per se, it's more of me and the projection and the pressure I'm putting on myself. But all the moms have been kind and helpful about it all, encouraging me. Always, again, our director's always thanking us for us tutors, like we couldn't do this without our tutors. So I keep trying to remind myself of that. I know that, like I said before in my video of Michelle and I gave that update on life over here, I said, I prayed about it, like I prayed about it, and I felt, God was leading me this way, and I could trust that He will continue to work in my heart and do good things out of this, and for His glory and for His purposes. And I'm here to serve Him and to serve my community. So I'm always kind of going back to, again, my why am I tutoring? Why do I want to do this? Why am I doing classical conversation? So all that stuff really helps. And overall, like, again, we've been 3 weeks in. This will be my 4th week. My 3rd week, I finally updated my board a little bit. I saw some other Pinterest examples of other people's boards, and they have these like more like fancier labels, since that's the stuff that kind of stays every week, and you have to handwrite the memory work for it. And they really want to encourage, obviously, reminding everybody with God in the center. And I've been trying to put some of we're memorizing this year for week 1 is John, the first 7 verses. So I try to put one of the verses up here just to kind of remind the kids, like, remember, we have all this stuff because of God, and we're learning more about Him and the world that He created. So this is my board. It's not perfect. I don't have the prettiest handwriting, and I think that's also where my pressure is. I'm like, oh, I'm so just critiquing my work. I'm like, oh, the kid's going to like it. The other mom's going to like it. And I know that's adding a lot more stress than I need to be, because we're all here just having fun, learning things, but it's me. So something I know I will have to work on myself, but overall it's going fine. I definitely have improved. The first week was shaky, I was so nervous. The 2nd week, a little bit nervous still, a little bit better, but still I felt like the 30 minutes you have to go introduce all the new memory work, it was just kind of like all over the place. So, but then by the 3rd week, I was a little bit better. I don't know, it was a new board, and I got some more colored markers instead of just black, to kind of just jazz it up a little bit. And it kind of helps me because certain things, like for the history, I break it off, like kids say certain parts, and so having the different colors, I kind of know, okay, that one kid's going to say this. So little things like that. So I definitely think the third week was better. I'm hoping now the fourth week will even be better, and I just keep that each week will hopefully get better, and I'll keep working hard on making sure I'm serving the kids good, and obviously the moms as well in my community. So this is the board, and so how CC works is that you have certain memory work that you memorize each week, and as a job as a tutor, you're just going to be introducing it. And I have 10-year-olds. My class is one of the older classes. We have one more class that are 11-year-olds above us, so I'm like the second level of the highest kids. And a lot of these kids have already done this cycle or have been in CC for a long time. So they know a lot of this stuff. So when I get down to, I don't have the timeline up here. If you're looking at the board, like something's missing, especially if you're in CC, like something's missing. And they have a timeline. And they have a great timeline song, and then they also have these great timeline cards. This is actually the timeline cards for week 3. I haven't switched out for week 4 yet. And so what I do, I am not big on hand motions. Thankfully, my class is not big on the hand motions, but I know some of the moms still like, can you still do the hand motions even though the class doesn't? So what I decided for week 3, I just lay out all the cards, and I lay them all out, and I go, okay, I'm going to introduce each card and quickly just show you the hand motion that goes along with it, because again, I told you, pretty much every kid in my class is like, no hand motion. So I'm doing it mostly for the moms. So I lay them all out on the floor, because in my room I don't have tables, so I have to use the floor. So we lay them all out. I quickly run through the hand motions, and then a new game that I run. So now I'm transitioning from sharing my thoughts as CC tutor, now kind of sharing some tips for those moms out there that want tips of like if you're a CC tutor or plan to be a CC tutor. There's a lot of other people here on YouTube that give great, which I got so many of these from. Also just asking other moms in your community what worked and what didn't work. But also just what I've learned too, you just have to get in and do it. And I think that's also what God is trying to show me. Get in, Lori, do it. I'm going to challenge you. You're stepping outside your comfort zone, but trust me, trust me, trust me. And so that's what I'm learning. And I'm also learning that the more you do it each week, you do realize what works and what doesn't work, and you just kind of keep sticking to what's working for you and for the kids. So a game that we play that I got from my mom, so I told you a lot of these kids have gone through the timeline so many times. I was like, okay, how can I make it more fun? And she came up with, I think she's Find the Bomb, and she has like, draws little stars on the back of them. I have gold stars, so me and my daughters call it Find the Gold. So I pick 3 random cards before class, I already have them on, and I lay them all out. I'm like, okay kids, we're gonna go and find the gold, and I'll pick a kid. You get to pick which one you think it's on, and say she thinks it's Israel's United Kingdom. And so we would go through the whole timeline. Whenever we got to whatever card, I would lift it up, we would flip it. Is there a star? No, keep going. And we just keep going until we found all 3. If they find the 3 stars pretty quickly, the other things that I like to do with them is you mix them all up, you have them put it in order. That's always a fun one to go to, as well as a new one that I'm going to do this week. I use this for other things. Again, this is something that I got off YouTube from another mom. Again, to kind of make the memory work a little bit more fun. These things are called tiny hands. I just got them off Amazon. You put them on your index fingers, and so they only allow to use these 2 little hands to organize it and put the cards in order. So again, it just makes it a little bit more fun. So I'm going to try that for the timeline. So again, I usually introduce quickly the timeline with the hand motions as fast as I can, because I told you my class doesn't really like the hand motions, and then we get to like more of the fun things. So Find the Gold is one that they enjoy, mixing them up, putting them in order. I'm going to add in the tiny hands. You don't have to. If you don't want to buy that, you do not have to. So that's the timeline. And then the other things are I do similar things. One of the biggest things I've learned that I've realized it's just quick and simple and easy. I know a lot of people change their voices. I just don't think this class is really into changing their voices. So what I do, like for math, we just say it quietly, and then we say it maybe a little bit louder, and you can also say it real loud. So that's like a fun, easy one. For the math, for the older kids, they have to say the full equation, so it takes a little bit longer. So I just found that we just say it all together, then we say a little bit quieter, we say a little bit louder, then I go through, I say the equation, the kids say the answer, and that actually worked out pretty well. So I'm probably going to kind of keep up with that, because that worked really well. But I'm going to challenge them, if time allows for it, to like erase just a few of the numbers, not all of them, just a few, and see if they can still remember it, to kind of encourage them to keep memorizing that. Erasing is I know a lot of us moms do, and it's really a great way to keep them learning. I know for history, so I have them in different colors, and I got this in from another mom, and she calls it popcorn, I think she called it, but pretty much you give each kid a different part of the history sentence to say, and then you kind of just have it go down the row, and then I would come in and I would separate, like erase like the Declaration of Independence. Still that person that was said it the first time, we kind of just keep saying it all the way through until pretty much all of this is erased. I've done the erasing also for science. I have not done it for English. Mostly for English, I have done, actually this week I'm actually going to try for week 4, try erasing. The past weeks, I think, I did the tiny hands. I wrote them on, wrote them on little tiny note cards, and I cut them up, little note cards, each a little part of the different English sentences on it, and they have to kind of put in order again with the tiny hands. Actually, this past week, they were all able to go through that pretty quickly. So that worked out. So still trying to figure out what really works and what doesn't for my class. It might take me a few more weeks to actually get there. But it's fun, but yet for me, it's also kind of challenging because I just want to get it. But I know like the growth that can happen in this process of learning and making mistakes and getting better at it, which I know is so much beauty. Which is also something that I teach my kids to do, is that you learn from your mistakes. Try it, see how you do, and learn from it. So I'm trying to take my own advice on that as well, which is advice so many of us do. Geography is real easy. They actually provide big maps for you, and the kids just go and trace it. They practice their tracing. I kind of just quiz them as they're tracing what state it is, what's the state capital of it. CC, I believe there is. I don't think it's a CC related, but somebody else created a state capital song that I heard is real good. So I'd encourage, you can do on the side. I don't do it in class, but I don't do any song in class. The only song we listen to is the history song that's off the app. Everything else we just kind of say. I know there's some other CC communities where they create a song out of almost every single piece of the memory work. That's a lot. I am not a singer, so I don't even do that. So if you've always been nervous, like, I don't want to do all the singing, just know you don't have to. I don't do any singing, and it's working out just fine. But I do try to find fun little ways for them to memorize the state capitals. Let's see what else. Latin, I get this, I think I came off the CC site. I believe I got this print off, and if I find it more deeply, I'll try to share the link, or at least where I got it. It's off, you have to be part of CC and on the CC Connected to get it, but it's another, I think, mom's notes of ideas of what to do for the memory work, and then she also goes over the science and fine arts, which you're also in charge of doing. So like a timeline, she kind of helps you with the hand motions, history. She gives you different things you can do, math, all this stuff. So sometimes I get some good ideas off this. Actually, for last week, week 3's Latin, we did like a clapping thing, and that seemed to work really well. So anytime you can do clapping, I know standing up and marching's real good. Throwing the ball, I know I've heard real good. Some of those things I haven't tried yet. Like I said, I'm going to try some new things in week 4, and whenever I do this updated video, I'll continue to let you know how it's going. So that's, I feel like everything pretty much I wanted to say about my board. Again, it's just trial and error, really kind of seeing what your kid like, what your students like in the class that you're tutoring, what's working, that's what not working. Oh, the other thing you do at the end of your day at CC before they break for lunch is a review. It's a review game, and this is where they get real wild. My class overall is pretty quiet. I kind of have to really encourage them to say the memory work. So by the time they get to the CC, obviously it's the last 30 minutes. They know lunchtime's right around the corner, break time. So they have a lot of energy by then. So the first review, two of the review games I've done so far, that worked pretty good. I did 4 corners, which I just labeled. I just kind of said this is corner 1, 2 because they're older kids. Which corner's what? Count to 10. Everybody picked a corner. Whatever corner I picked, you had to say the memory work to be able to stay in and keep playing. I was actually a little bit nice, and I let all of them stay in. And then the other game that we played was Uno, where I just laid out all the Uno cards. You don't know what number you're going to get, and that's your point. You break off actually into 2 teams, and you throw a beanbag or a ball onto whatever card. You flip it over. Okay, say it's an 8. You get 8 points if you answer the review question right. And the review work, you're just reviewing the memory work from the current week, and then obviously up to, I think, 6 weeks in the past, I believe. So we just had the first 3 weeks to review. But this actually coming week for week 4, I'm going to be trying a new one. I'm hoping it gets here in time. If it doesn't, I'll have to go back to the Uno games. I think that worked pretty well for my class. But I got these like buzzers. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to divide them into 4 teams. Each person gets a buzzer. And I'm going to say, like I'll start saying, who can tell me what are 3 parts of the nervous system? And then they would have to say brain, spinal cord, nerves. And they would have to buzz it. And you get the buzzer. And I think I was going to get up to points and just kind of keep track of that. So I'm going to see, because this class seems like they're a little bit of competitive, especially since they're older, but also yet kind of quiet, but also wild at the same time. So I'm still trying to feel them out and what really works, and also just the confidence in myself. Because like I said before, I'm an introvert, and this really takes a lot of me to do this. So definitely by the end of the day, when I get home, I unload the car, I unload all of our lunches, and I am just mentally done for the day. So we don't do much for that day. It's very casual. The kids like relax or play. They tell me about their day because I don't really get to see them that much during the day. So they kind of tell me what they did, what they enjoyed about that day, and I kind of review with them like how my class went. Like, oh, my class liked this, they didn't like this, and so I kind of just sit and chat with them about our day. And then I usually just do a read aloud. So it's really simple on Wednesdays, because I said this getting up and tutoring takes a lot out of me as an introvert, and I need a lot of downtime to kind of recoup from it. But overall, it's stressful, but I think again it's me putting the stress on myself. I think it is going to get better and better each week. I told you I already saw a great improvement from week 2 to week 3. We'll see how week 4 goes. And I know I just put the pressure on myself. So yeah, that's pretty much what I do right now as a CC tutor. I hope if you have any questions, make sure to let me know. Make sure to follow me over on Instagram. We're over there, Lori and Michelle, because we do it with my twin sister, which you'll see her pop on every once in a while. And questions, ask me over there. Again, this is our 2nd year doing CC. We're in cycle 3, first time tutor. It's been an eye-opening experience. I definitely can see why people encourage you to be a tutor, because not only do you really get more involved with it, but you really start learning the other families in your community, and that's been really amazing as well, getting to know some of these moms a little bit deeper and working with them more, and helping each other out. Like, oh, I found this resource, it was really great, and we share it with each other. So stuff like that has been really, really amazing. But we'll kind of see how it goes. I told you I don't know when I'll be back with another update. Life is really busy now. Tutoring, it does take a lot of my time to prep it. I do usually try to prep it a few days in advance, and then I kind of review it with my kids on Tuesday, them acting like they are my class to practice, which I encourage you to practice. If you want to be a tutor, practice, because it does really help. But I also think what I said before, you just have to do it, and know it's going to be kind of messy the first couple weeks, but just know it should hopefully get better. And I will be back with more updates. Like I said, I'm not sure when I'll be able to do one. Life is real busy here. The kids are doing even more extra activities on top of keeping up with our other homeschooling work, and on top of just doing our CC memory work as well. But they still love it. They come home and they have these little journals that they're writing out all their memory work this week, and they're going to get a prize once it's all done. So little things like that. But they all still really love the general concept of CC, all the little arts and science things they do, and just hanging out with their friends is just really, really fun as well. I think that's it. I'm pretty sure that's it. Well, again, if I miss anything, I'll try. If I realize I missed anything, I'll try to do again a follow-up video down the road, or just message me over on Instagram so I can answer you guys there. I hope this was beneficial, or if you were just curious about what it's like to be a CC, or what I've been up to, or what I've been doing, or maybe hope some of those helped you out. Like I told you, I'll also list. I think I'm going to create a blog post over on our blog, purelytwins.com. More of all the different other resources, anything else that I find over there, just find it a little bit easier to do over there. So I'll try to keep track over there. So make sure you check out our blog every once in a while to see if I do any updates. I think that's it. All right, friends, I love you guys. Thank you so much for sticking through this video and following Michelle and I on this journey. Don't forget to check out our Bible study. We created also a podcast for it, and Rumble account, so for anybody that is on those platforms. So make sure you check us out over there and all that. And I love you guys. Thank you again so much. If you like this video, make sure to give it a like. It really helps Michelle and I out a lot. The support, you don't understand, means so much to us. So if you don't mind just giving that little like button or subscribing, to our channel. If you're new to us, of course, just sharing it with your friends and family. And thanks for joining me today. I'll chat with you guys real soon.